What's up, Ravens fans? It's time to hear from you guys in our Ravens Mailbag segment, and this week Sarah Ellison is filling in for Ryan Mink. Lots of good questions this week. We are now in the second week of OTA, so let's just jump right into the questions. The first one comes to us today from Anwar Muhammad, and the question is, who from the middle linebacking core looks the best in coverage, and who do you see starting next to CJ Mosley?
Yeah, I don't think anything's really changed since the end of last season. We've seen one practice, and so it's Patrick Owosso who's leading the way, and it's his spot to lose. There's Kamalei Correa who's come back into the competition, but Patrick beat him last year. So I expect him to beat him again. Now, the person that's intriguing is fourth-round pick Kenny Young. It would be wishful thinking to think that he could overcome Peanut in one offseason, but he is quick. He is good in coverage, so there's somebody that it's like, with some development, maybe he could become that person in the long run. And then you still have Albert McClellan and help me out.
Van
who
Bradley.
else?
Van Bradley. He's an
He's
interesting one because he made the team last year as an undrafted rookie, and then ended up tearing his ACL and missed pretty much the entire year.
Right. So until those two guys get back, I don't expect the competition to really heat up, and right now it's Peanut for me.
You know, on Kamalei Correa, I had a conversation with him this week, and he's somebody that I think recognizes that his first 2 years haven't gone the way that he or anyone else expected.
Right.
But you can tell that he's hungry. I mean, he's motivated, he's putting in extra time, and I think he's an interesting case to watch over the offseason and once we get into training camp.
For sure.
All right, the next question comes to us from Bose Edinger, and the question is, who is taking the snaps at first-team center? Well, right now it's Matt Skura. He's somebody that really impressed us last year after he stepped into the starting lineup after the injury to Marshall Yanda. I think that Matt Skura, if the season were to start today, he'd be your starting center.
He's the guy.
Now, I agree that it's his job to lose, but here's the interesting scenario. What happens if the Ravens are really impressed with a guy like Orlando Brown, the rookie third-round pick? He would probably slide into the right tackle role. That's where James Hurst is playing right now. If Orlando Brown were to become the starting right tackle, then maybe you say James Hurst moves to left guard. Okay, so what do you do with Alex Lewis? Because what they want, here's the goal with the offensive line. They want the 5 best players on the field on the offensive line. If, again, Hurst were to move to left guard, then maybe you move Alex Lewis to center. So there are some pieces that can shuffle around here. Also, this is a position, the offensive line, keeping all 5 guys healthy is a challenge there. It rarely happens. So then Alex Lewis could compete at the center spot too. But with all that said, I still think that Skura is the guy there, particularly as we look at it right now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's anybody behind him like Bozeman, the new draft pick that's pushing it. It's more what's happening on that right side.
Yep. All right, the last question today comes to us from Raging Toast 1. And the question is, will we cut Breshad Perriman?
Oh, this is the eternal question, right? Maybe. Here's the way I look at it. I think Breshad is competing with 3 other guys for 2 positions. And here's the way I look at it. You've got Crabtree, Brown, Snead, and to me, I know you feel differently, Moore, who I see as seeing making the team.
They're locks.
They're locks. I think the Ravens will keep 6 receivers. Returner, to me, is a different position. Maybe it'll be a receiver like Tim White who wins it. But so if the Ravens keep 7, that's because of the returner position. So that leaves Perriman, and then the 2 draft picks, Scott and Lastly. That's how I see it. So it's those 3 competing for 2 spots. Now, in the past, Perriman has always been this OTA monster, right? In the one practice, it's just 2 hours, he wasn't a monster. He wasn't a monster and just going up and getting everything. He didn't stand out negatively really either. He had some catches, had some non-catches that may or may not have been his fault. So to me, it's something to watch throughout the summer. But he's definitely on that bubble.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and I think that a lot of it depends on what the Ravens want to do with Chris Moore. You know, I think that it really could be Breshad Perriman or Chris Moore. Chris Moore brings you more on a special teams standpoint. And then also, how quickly do these rookies catch on? You know, I don't think that you're going to be in a position where you could cut either Lastly or Jaleel Scott, try to sneak him onto the practice squad. They're too high of draft picks. I don't see that being an option. So it's definitely, look, Breshad Perriman knows.
Either way, he's on the bubble, and he knows it.
Oh, he knows he's on the bubble, and I think everyone would agree with that. So, as always, we'd love to hear from you guys. Send in those questions every single week using the hashtag RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.